The threat of the first national railroad strike in 30 years is forcing Congress to use its legislative authority to avoid another hit to the economy.
The House swiftly passing legislation guaranteeing rail workers will keep the country moving. The CBN News correspondent Brody is following the story. Brody, Congress stepping in like this is really a last-ditch effort.
Well, John Jenna, since this is considered a national security issue, Congress is taking advantage of laws that force union workers to go back to work under terms of a contract they recently rejected. Overworked, understaffed, and no paid sick days. That's the rallying cry shared by more than 100,000 union rail workers. They're fighting to spend more time with family and not be punished for taking sick days.
The big issue that rail crews are pointing out isn't so much the pay that's the problem, but quality of life.
In September, President Biden helped avert a rail strike by imposing a 30-day cooling-off period, giving more time for rail unions to consider a deal brokered by Labor Secretary Marty Walsh. It would have increased worker pay by 24% over 5 years, with caps on health care costs. It failed, however, to offer paid sick leave, causing 4 out of the 12 unions to reject the deal, leading to this current strike threat.
Everyday Americans should absolutely be watching this because of the inflationary pressures this has for food and energy, really core costs.
It's not one of those real sexy things that get the headline until something bad like this happens. Transportation is what makes the world go around. That's what keeps food on the shelves, what keeps the economy going.
A rail strike could cost the economy an estimated $2 billion per day and bring the supply chain to a screeching halt.
For too long, the railroads ownership have made obscene profits on the backs of workers.
House leaders stepped in Wednesday, voting to avoid a work stoppage.
Quite frankly, the fact that paid leave is not part of the final agreement between railroads and labor is, in my opinion, obscene.
Congress added a second bill giving workers 7 days of sick leave. While the bills could prevent a strike, some believe Congress shouldn't be meddling in private enterprise.
This is a mess of their own making, and they're going to make it a whole lot worse. If they go off the September agreement, it'll just kick the can down the road. September kicked it to here. This is going to kick it into next year, and then we're going to do this all over again with people even more mad.
Analysts tell me they're worried a strike could bleed into the trucking and ocean freight unions, standing in solidarity with the rail unions, further straining an already choked supply chain. If a new agreement can't be reached, railway workers vow to strike by December 9th.
Yeah, Brody, of course, the bill still needs to pass the Senate. When are we thinking the Senate might vote on this in order to send it to the president's desk?
Today, President Biden said the Senate must act urgently. He's warning that supply chain disruptions could actually begin as early as this weekend. Some fertilizer tech companies, they've already rerouted shipments to trucks. Now, they are in session tomorrow, and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has promised a swift